The book of Proverbs, chapter 1. To know wisdom and instruction, to understand words of insight, to receive instruction in wise dealing, in righteousness, justice, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, knowledge and discretion to the youth. Let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance. To understand a proverb and a saying, the words of the wise and their riddles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Hear, my son, your father's instructions, and forsake not your mother's teaching. For they are graceful garlands for your head and pendants for your neck. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come of us, let us lie in blood. Let us ambush the innocent without reason. Like Sheol, let us swallow them alive and whole, and like those who go down to the pit, we shall find all precious goods. We shall fill our house with plunder. Throw in your lot among us, and we'll have one purse. My son, do not walk in way with them, foot from their paths, for their feet run to evil, and they haste to make bloodshed. For vain is net spread in the sight of any bird, but these men lie in wait for their own blood. They set ambush for their own lives. Such ways are for everyone who is greedy for unjust gain. It takes away the life of its possessors. Wisdom cries aloud in the streets. In the market she raises her voice. At the head of the noisy street she cries out. At the entrance of the city gates she speaks. How long, O simple ones, would you love being simple? How long will scoffers delight in their scoffing and fools hate knowledge? If you turn from my reproof, behold, I'll pour my spirit out upon you. I'll make my words known to you, because I have called and you refuse to listen. I have stretched out my hand and no one has heeded, because you've ignored all my counsel and would have none of my reproof. I'll also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when terror strikes you. When terror strikes like a storm and your calamity comes like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you, then they'll seek me and call upon me, but I will not answer. They'll seek me diligently, but they will not find me, because they hated knowledge, and they did not choose the fear of the Lord. They would have none of my counsel, they despise my reproof. Therefore they shall eat the fruit of their way, and have their fill of their own devices. For the simple are killed by the turning away, and the complacency of fools destroy them. But whoever listens to me will dwell secure, and will be at ease without any dread of disaster.
Chapter 2. My son, if you accept my words and store up my commands within you, turning your ear to wisdom and applying your heart to understanding, and if you call out for insight and cry aloud for understanding, and if you look for it as for silver and search for it as for hidden treasure, then you will understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. For the Lord gives wisdom, and from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He holds victory in store for the upright. He is a shield to those who walk is blameless, for he guards the course of the just and protects the way of his faithful ones. Then you will understand what is right and just and fair, every good path. For wisdom will enter your heart, and knowledge will be pleasant to your soul. Discretion will protect you, and understanding will guard you. Wisdom will save you from the ways of the wicked man, from men whose words are perverse, who leave the straight paths to walk in dark ways, who delight in doing wrong and rejoice in the perverseness of evil, whose paths are crooked and who are devious in their ways. It will save you also from the adulterers, from the wayward wife with her seductive words, who has left the partner of her youth and ignored the covenant she made before God. For her house leads down to death, and her paths to the spirit of the dead. None who go to her return or attain the paths of life. Thus you will walk in the ways of good men and keep the paths of the righteous. For the upright will live in the land, and the blameless will remain in it. But the wicked will be cut off from the land, and the unfaithful will be turned from it.
chapter 3, reading from the Orthodox Jewish Bible. Mishlech 3. Beni, forget not my Torah, but let thine lev keep my mitzvot. For orech, yamim, and shanot, shachim, and shalom shall thou add to thee. Let not shezed and enes forsake thee. Bind them around thy neck. Write them upon thy luach of thine lev. So shalt thou find chen and shichel tov in the eyes of Elohim and Adam. Trust in Hashem with all thy lev, and lean not on thine own binach. In all thy drachim acknowledge him, and he shall make yosher thy ochot. Be not chacham in thine own eyes. Fear Hashem, and depart from rach. It should be ruhat to thy navel, and marrow to thy asphot. Honor Hashem with thy substance, and the rishit of all thine increase. So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy vats shall burst out with tirosh. Beni, despise not the musar Hashem, neither be weary of his tochachach. For whom Hashem loveth, he correcteth, even as an av, the ben, in whom he delighteth. Ashri is the man that findeth chochama, and the man that getteth tuvanach. For the gain of it is better than the gain of kesef, and the increase thereof than fine gold. She is more precious than peninim, and all the things thou canst desire are not to be compared unto her. Orech, Yamim, is her right hand, and in her left hand, Osher and Kavod. Her drachim and drachim of pleasantness, and all her nitvurt are shalom. She is et shachim, to them that lay hold upon her, and mi'usher, to everyone that holdeth her fast. Hashem, by Shochma, hath founded Eretz, by Tuvenach hath he established Shomayim. By his dayas, the Tehomot were divided, and the clouds dropped down the tal. Beni, let not them depart from thine eyes. Keep sound judgment and mismach. So shall they be shachim unto thy nefesh, and shen to thy neck. Then shalt thou walk in the derech safely, and thy regal shall not stumble. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. When thou liest down, thy shinach shall be sweet. Be not afraid of sudden pachad, neither of the desolation of the rashaim, when it cometh. For Hashem shall be thy confidence, and shall be shomer over thy regal from the snare. Withhold not tov from them to whom it is due, when it is in thy power or thine yad to do it. Say not unto thy neighbor, go and come again, and makar I will give, when thou hast it by thee. Devise not racha against thy rear, seeing he dwelleth securely by thee. Strive not with Adam without cause, if he have done thee no racha. Envy not the ish chamas, and choose none of his drachim, for the perverse person is to'ovat to Hashem, but his sod is with Yashurim. The curse of Hashem is the base of the rasha, but he puts a bracha on the dwelling of the tzaddikim. Surely he scorneth the scorners, but he giveth shen unto the anayim. The shachem shall inherit kavod, but shame will be the promotion of Kislev.
Chapter 4. Hear, O sons, a father's instruction, and be attentive that you may gain insight. For I give you good precepts. Do not forsake my teaching. When I was a son with my father, tender, the only one in the sight of my mother, he taught me and said to me, let your heart hold fast my words. Keep my commandments and live. Get wisdom, get insight. Do not forget, and do not turn away the words of my mouth. Do not forsake her, and she will keep you. Love her, and she will guard you. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom, and whatever you get insight. Prize her highly, and she will exalt you. She will honor you if you embrace her. She will place on your head a graceful garland. She will bestow on you a beautiful crown. Hear, my son, and accept my words, that the years of your life may be many. I have taught you the way of wisdom. I have led you in the paths of uprightness. When you walk, your step will not be hampered, and if you run, you will not stumble. Keep hold of instruction and do not let go. Guard her, for she is your life. Do not enter the path of the wicked. Do not walk in the way of the evil. Avoid it. Do not go onto it. Turn away from it and pass on, for they cannot sleep unless they have done wrong. They are robbed of sleep unless they have made someone stumble. For they eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. And the path of the righteous is like the light of dawn, which shines brighter and brighter until full day. The way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know over what they stumble. My son, be attentive to my words. Incline your ear to my sayings. Let them not escape from your sight. Keep them within your heart. For they are life to those who find them, and healing to all their flesh. Keep your heart with all vigilance, for from it flow the springs of life. Put away from you crooked speech, and put devious talk far from you. Let your eyes look directly forward, and your gaze be straight before you. Ponder the paths of your feet, and then all your ways will be sure. Do not swerve to the right or to the left. Turn your foot away from evil.
Proverbs 5. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Listen to my words of understanding. Be careful to use good sense and watch what you say. The words of another man's wife may seem sweet as honey. They may be as smooth as olive oil, but in the end, she will bring you sorrow, causing you pain like a two-edged sword. She is on the way to death. Her steps are headed straight to the grave. She gives little thought to life. She doesn't even know that her ways are wrong. Now, my sons, listen to me and do not ignore what I say. Stay away from such a woman. Do not even go near the door of her house, or you will give your riches to others, and the best years of your life will be given to someone cruel. Strangers will enjoy your wealth, and what you work so hard for will go to someone else. You will groan in the end of your life. When your health is gone, then you will say, I hated being told what to do. I would not listen to correction. I would not listen to my teachers. Pay attention to my instructions. I came close to being completely ruined. In front of a whole group of people. Be faithful to your own wife, just as you drink water from your own well. Do not pour your water in the streets. Do not give your love to just any woman. These things are yours alone and shouldn't be shared with strangers. Be happy with the wife you married when you were young. She gives you joy as a fountain gives you water. She's as lovely and as graceful as a deer. Let her love always make you happy. Let her love always hold you captive. My son, do not be held captive by a woman who takes part in adultery. Do not fondle a woman who is not your wife. The Lord sees everything you do, and he watches where you go. An evil man will be caught in his wicked ways. The ropes of his sins will tie him up. He will die because he does not control himself, and he will be held captive by his foolishness.
Chapter 6. My son, if you become surety for your friend, if you have shaken hands in prayer for a stranger, you are snared by the words of your mouth. You are taken by the words of your mouth. So do this, my son, and deliver yourself, for you have come into the hands of your friends. Go and humble yourself. Plead with your friend. Give no sleep to your eyes, no slumber to your eyelids. Deliver yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter, and like a bird from the hand of the fowler. Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider her ways and be wise, which, having no captain, overseer or ruler, provides a surprise in the summer and gathers her food in the harvest. How long will you slumber, O sluggard? When will you rise from your sleep? A little slumber, a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall your poverty come on you like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. A worthless person, a wicked man, walks with a perverse mouth. He winks with his eyes, he shuffles his feet, he points with his fingers. Perversity is in his heart. He devises evil continually, he sows discord. Therefore his calamity shall come suddenly. Suddenly it shall be broken without remedy. These things the Lord hates. Yes, 7 are an abomination to him: a proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that are swift in running to evil, a false witness who speaks lies, and one who sows discord among brethren. My son, keep your father's command, and do not forsake the law of your mother. Bind them continually upon your heart. Tie them around your neck. When you roam, they will lead you. When you sleep, they will keep you. Yeah. Oh. And when you awake, they will speak with you. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light. Reproofs of instruction are the way of life, to keep you from the evil woman, from the flattering tongue of a seductress. Do not lust after her beauty in your heart, nor let her allure you with her eyelids. For by means of a harlot, a man is reduced to a crust of bread, and an adulteress will prey upon his precious life. Can a man take fire in his own bosom, and his clothes not be burned? Can one walk on hot coals, and his feet not be seared? So is he who goes into his neighbor's wife. Whoever touches her shall not be innocent. People do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy himself when he is starving. Yet when he is found, he must restore sevenfold. He may have to give up all the substance of his house. Whoever commits adultery with a woman lacks understanding. He who does so destroys his own soul. Wounds and dishonor he will get, and his reproach will not be wiped away. For jealousy is a husband's fury, therefore he will not spare in the day of vengeance. He will accept no recompense, nor will he appease. Be appeased, though you give many gifts.
In Tagalog, anak ko, ingatan mo ang aking mga salita at impukin mo sa iyo ang aking mga utos. Ingatan mo ang aking mga utos at mabuhay ka, at ang aking kautusan na parang itim ng iyong mata. Itali mo sa iyong mga daliri, ikingkal mo sa iyong puso. Sabihin mo sa karunungan, ikaw ay aking kapatid na babae, at tawagin mong iyong kamag-anak na babae ang unawa, upang kanilang maingatan ka sa babaeng masama, sa babaeng di kilala na nagtatabil ng kanyang mga salita. Sapagkat sa dungawan ng aking bahay, tumitingin ako sa aking soleya, at ako'y tumitingin sa mga musmos. Ako'y nagmamasid sa mga may kabataan, sa may kabataang walang bait, na dumaraan sa lansangan na malapit sa kanyang sulok, at siya'y yumaon sa daan na patungo sa kanyang bahay. Sa pagtatakip silin, sa kinagabihan ng araw, sa kalahatian ng gabi, at sa kadiliman. At narito, dooy nasalubong niya ang isang babae na nakagayak ng tila isang patutot sa tuso sa puso. Siya'y madaldal at matigas ang ulo. Ang kanyang mga paa ay hindi nagsisitahan sa kanyang bahay. Ngayoy nasa mga lansangan siya. Mamaya'y nasa mga luwal na dako siya at nag-aabang sa bawat sulok. Sa gayoy hinahawakan niya siya at hinahagkan siya at may mukhang walang hiya na nagsasabi siya sa kanya. Mga ahin ng mga handog tungkol sa kapayapaan ay sa akin. Sa araw na ito ay tinupad ko ang aking mga panata. Kaya't lumabas ako upang salubungin ka. Hinanap kong masikap ang iyong mukha at nasumpungan kita. Aking inilatag ang aking higaan na may mga kulsong may burda, nayari sa guhit-guhit na kayong lana sa Ehipto. At aking pinabanguhan ang aking higaan ng mira, mga olyo at sinamomo. Parito ka, tayo'y magpakasaya sa pagsisintahan hanggang sa kinumagahan. Magpakasaya tayo sa mga pagsisintahan. Sapagkat ang lalaki ay wala sa bahay. Siya'y naglakbay sa malayo. Siya'y nagdala ng sutot ng salapi. Siya'y uuwi sa bahay sa kabilugan ng buwan. Kanyang pinasusuko siya ng karamihan ng kanyang mga matamis na salita. Hinihila niya siya ng katabila ng kanyang mga labi. Pagdaka sa sumusunod siya sa kanya, gaya ng turo ng naparoon sa patayan, o gaya ng sa mga tinikala sa sawayan sa mangmang. Hanggang sa lagpasan ng isang palaso ang kanyang atay, gaya ng ibong nagmamadali sa bitag, at hindi nakakaalam na yaoy sa kanyang buhay. Ngayon nga, mga anak ko, dinggin ninyo ako at nakinig kayo ng mga salita ng aking bibig. Huwag humilig ang iyong puso sa kanyang mga lakad. Huwag kang lumiko sa kanyang mga landas, sapagkat kanyang inihiga ang maraming may sugat. Oo, lahat niyang pinatay ay isang makapangyarihang hukbo. Ang kanyang bahay ay daang patungo sa Sheol, pababa sa mga silid ng kamatayan.
Proverbs chapter 8. Does not wisdom call out? Does not understanding raise her voice? At the highest point along the way, where the paths meet, she takes her stand. Beside the gate leading into the city, at the entrance she cries aloud. To you, O people, I call out. I raise my voice to all mankind. You who are simple, gain prudence. You who are foolish, set your hearts on it. Listen, for I have trustworthy things to say. I open my lips to speak what is right. My mouth speaks what is true. My lips detest wickedness. All the words of my mouth are just. None of them is crooked or perverse. To the discerning, all of them are right. They are upright to those who have found knowledge. Choose my instruction instead of silver, knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is more precious than rubies, and nothing you desire can compare with her. I, wisdom, dwell together with prudence. I possess knowledge and discretion. To fear the Lord is to hate evil. I hate pride and arrogance, evil behavior and perverse speech. Counsel and sound judgment are mine. I have insight, I have power. By me kings reign, and rulers issue decrees that are just. By me princes govern, and nobles, all who rule on earth. I love those who love me, and those who seek me find me. With me are riches and honor, enduring wealth and prosperity. My fruit is better than fine gold. What I yield surpasses choice silver. I walk in the way of righteousness, along the paths of justice, bestowing a rich inheritance on those who love me, and making their treasuries full. The Lord brought me forth at the first of his works, before his deeds of old. I was formed long ages ago, at the very beginning, when the world came to be. Where there are no watery depths, I was given birth. When there were no springs overflowing with water, before the fountains were settled in place, before the hills, I was given birth. Before he made the world or its fields, or any of the dust on the earth, I was there when he set the heavens in place, when he marked out the horizon on the face of the deep, when he established the clouds above and fixed securely the fountains of deep, when he gave the sea its boundary so the waters would not overstep his command, and when he marked out the foundations of the earth. Then I constantly was at his side. I was filled with delight day after day, rejoicing always in his presence, rejoicing in his whole world, and delighting in mankind. Now then, my children, listen to me. Blessed are those who keep my ways. Listen to my instructions and be wise. Do not disregard it. Blessed are those who listen to me, watching daily at my doors, waiting at my doorway. For those who find me find life and receive favor from the Lord. But those who fail to find me harm themselves. All who hate me love death.
Psalm 9. Wisdom has built her house. She has hewn out her 7 pillars. She has slaughtered her meat. She has mixed her wine. She has also furnished her table. She has sent out her maidens. She cries out from the highest place of the city. Whoever is simple, let him turn and hear. As for him who lacks understanding, she says to him, come, eat my bread, and drink of the wine I have mixed. Forsake foolishness and live, and go in the way of understanding. He who corrects a scoffer gets shame for himself, and he who rebukes a wicked man only harms himself. Do not correct a scoffer, lest he hate you. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love you. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will be still wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the Holy One is understanding. For by me your days will be multiplied, and years of life will be added to you. If you are wise for yourself. If you scoff, you will hear it alone. A foolish woman is clamorous. She is simple and knows nothing, for she sits at the door of her house, on a seat by the highest place of the city, to call to those who pass by, who go straight on their way. Whoever is simple, let him turn and hear. And as for him who lacks understanding, she says to him, stolen water is sweet, and the bread eaten in secret is pleasant. But who does not know what the dead are there, that the dead are there, that her guests are in the depths of hell.
A wise son maketh a glad father, but a foolish son is a heaviness of his mother. Treasures of wickedness profit nothing, but righteousness delivereth from death. The Lord will not suffer the soul of the righteous to famish, but he casteth away the substance of the wicked. He becometh poor that dealeth with a slack hand, but the hand of the diligent maketh rich. He that gathereth in summer is a wise son, but he that sleepeth in harvest is a son that causeth shame. Blessings are upon the head of the just, but violence covereth the mouth of the wicked. The memory of the just is blessed, but the name of the wicked shall rot. The wise in heart will receive commandments, but a prating fool shall fall. He that walketh uprightly walketh surely, but he that perverteth his ways shall be known. He that winketh with the eye causeth sorrow, but a prating fool shall fall. The mouth of a righteous man is a well of life, but violence covereth the mouth of the wicked. Hatred stirreth up strifes, but love covereth all sins. In the lips of him that hath understanding, wisdom is found, but a rod is for the back of him that is void of understanding. Wise men lay up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish is near destruction. The rich man's wealth is a strong city. The destruction of the poor is their poverty. The labor of the righteousness tendeth to life, the fruit of the wicked to sin. He is in the way of life that keepeth instruction, but he that refuseth reproof erreth. He that hideth hatred with lying lips, and he that uttereth a slander is a fool. In the multitude of words there wanteth not sin, but he that refraineth his lips is wise. The tongue of the just is as choice silver, the heart of the wicked is little worth. The lips of the righteous feed many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The blessing of the Lord, it maketh rich, and he addeth no sorrow with it. It is a sport to a fool to do mischief, but a man of understanding hath wisdom. The fear of the wicked, it shall come upon him, but the desire of the righteous shall be granted. As the whirlwind passeth, so is the wicked no more, but the righteous is an everlasting foundation. As vinegar to the teeth, and as smoke to the eyes, so is the sluggard to them that send him. The fear of the Lord prolongeth days, but the years of the wicked shall be shortened. The hope of the righteous shall be gladness, but the expectation of the wicked shall perish. The way of the Lord is strength to the upright, but destruction shall be to the workers of iniquity. The righteous shall never be removed, but the wicked shall not inhabit the earth. The mouth of the just bringeth forth wisdom, but the froward tongue shall be cut out. The lips of the righteous know what is acceptable, but the mouth of the wicked speaketh frowardness.
Chapter 11. The Lord detests dishonest scales, but accurate weights find favor with him. When pride comes, then comes disgrace, but with humility comes wisdom. The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithful are destroyed by their duplicity. Wealth is worthless in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. The righteousness of the blameless makes their path straight, but the wicked are brought down by their own wickedness. The righteousness of the upright delivers them, but the unfaithful are trapped by evil desires. Hopes placed in mortals die with them. All the promise of their power comes to nothing. The righteous person is rescued from trouble, and it falls on the wicked instead. With their mouths the godless destroy their neighbors, but through knowledge the righteous escape. When the righteous prosper, the city rejoices. When the wicked perish, there are shouts of joy. Through the blessing of the upright, a city is exalted, but by the mouth of the wicked, it is destroyed. Whoever derides their neighbor has no sense, but the one who has understanding holds their tongue. A gossip betrays a confidence, but a trustworthy person keeps a secret. For lack of guidance, a nation falls, but victory is won through many advisors. Whoever puts up security for a stranger will sorely suffer, but whoever refuses to shake hands and pledge is safe. A kind-hearted woman gains honor, but ruthless men gain only wealth. Those who are kind benefit themselves, but the cruel bring ruin on themselves. A wicked person earns deceptive wages, but the one who sows righteousness reaps a sure reward. Truly the righteous attain life, but whoever pursues evil finds death. The Lord detests those whose hearts are perverse, but he delights in those whose ways are blameless. Be sure of this, the wicked will not go unpunished, but those who are righteous will go free. Like a gold ring in a pig's snout is a beautiful woman who shows no discretion. The desire of the righteousness ends only in good, but the hope of the wicked only in wrath. One person gives freely yet gains even more. Another withholds unduly but comes to poverty. A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. People curse the one who hoards grain, but they pray God's blessing on the one who is willing to sell. Whoever seeks good finds favor, but evil comes to one who searches for it. Those who trust in their riches will fall, but the righteous will thrive like a green leaf. Whoever brings ruin on their family will inherit only wind, and the fool will be servant to the wise. The fruit of the righteousness is a tree of life, and the one who is wise saves lives. If the righteousness receive their due on earth, how much more the ungodly and the sinner?
Chapter 12 in French. Celui qui aime la correction aime la science. Celui qui haït la réprimande est stupide. L'homme de bien obtient la faveur de l'Éternel, mais l'Éternel condamne celui qui est plein de malice. L'homme ne se frémit pas par la méchanceté, mais la racine de juste ne sera point ébranlée. Une femme vertueuse est la couronne de son mari, mais celle qui fait honte est comme la carie dans ses os. Les pensées des justes ne sont qu'équité, les desseins des méchants ne sont que fraude. Les paroles des méchants sont des embûches pour verser le sang, mais la bouche des hommes droits est une délivrance. Renversés, les méchants ne sont plus et la maison de justes reste debout. Un homme est estimé en raison de son intelligence et celui qui a le cœur pervers est l'objet du mépris. Mieux vaut être une condition humble et avoir un serviteur que de faire les glorieux et de manquer de pain. Le juste prend soin de son bétail, mais les entrailles des méchants sont cruelles. Celui qui cultive son champ est rassasié de pain, mais celui qui poursuit des choses vaines est dépourvu de sens. Les méchants convoitent ce que prennent les méchants, mais la racine des justes donne du fruit. Il y a dans les péchés des lèvres un piège pernicieux, mais les justes s'étirent de la détresse. Par le fruit de la bouche, on est rassasié de bien, et chacun reçoit selon l'œuvre de ses mains. Le voie de l'insensé est droite à ses yeux, mais celui qui écoute les conseils est sage. L'insensé laisse voir à l'instant sa colère, mais celui qui cache un outrage est un homme prudent. Celui qui dit la vérité proclame la justice, et les faux témoins la tromperie. Tel que parle légèrement, blesse comme un glaive, mais la langue des sages apporte la guérison. La lèvre véridique est affermie pour toujours, mais la langue fausse ne subsiste qu'un instant. La tromperie est dans le cœur de ceux qui méditent le mal, mais la joie est pour ceux qui conseillent la paix. Aucun malheur n'arrive aux justes, mais les méchants sont accablés de maux. Les lèvres fausses sont en horreur à l'Éternel, mais ceux qui agissent avec vérité lui sont agréables. L'homme prudent cache sa science, mais le cœur des insensés proclame la folie. Les mains des diligents dominera, mais la main lâche sera tributaire. L'inquiétude dans le cœur de l'homme l'abat, mais une bonne parole le réjouit. Le juste montre à son ami le bon voie, mais le voie des méchants les égare. Les paresseux ne rôtissent pas son gibier, mais le précieux trésor d'un homme, c'est l'activité. La vie est dans le sentier de la justice. La mort n'est pas dans le chemin qu'elle trace.
Proverbs 13. A wise man heeds his father's instruction, but a scoffer does not listen to rebuke. A man shall eat well by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the unfaithful feeds on violence. He who guards his mouth preserves his life, but he who opens wide his lips shall have destruction. The soul of a lazy man desires and has nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made rich. The righteous man hates lying, but the wicked man is loathsome and comes to shame. Righteousness guards him whose way is blameless, but wickedness overthrows the sinner. There is one who makes himself rich, yet has nothing, and one who makes himself poor, yet has great riches. The ransom of a man's life is his riches, but the poor does not hear rebuke. The light of the righteous rejoices, and the lamp of the wicked will be put out. By pride comes nothing but strife, but with the well-advised is wisdom. Wealth gained by dishonesty will be diminished, but he who gathers by labor will increase. Hope deferred makes the heart sick, but when the desire comes, it is a tree of life. He who despises the words will be destroyed, but he who fears the commandment will be rewarded. The law of the wise is a fountain of life, to turn one away from the snare of death. Good understanding gains favor, and by the way of the unfaithful is hard. But the way of the unfaithful is hard. Every prudent man acts with knowledge, but the fool lays open his folly. The wicked messenger falls into trouble, but a faithful ambassador brings health. Poverty and shame will come to him who disdains correction, but he who regards a rebuke will be honored. The desire to accomplish is sweet to the soul, but it is an abomination to fools to depart from evil. He who walks with wise men will be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. Evil pursues sinners, but to the righteous, good shall be repaid. A good man leaves an inheritance to his children's children, but the wealth of the sinner is stored up for the righteous. Much food is in the fallow ground of the poor, and for lack of justice there is waste. He who spares his rod hates his son, but he who loves him disciplines him promptly. The righteous eats to the satisfaction of his soul, but the stomach of the wicked shall be in want.
Proverbs 14. The wise woman builds her house, but with her own hands the foolish one tears her down. He whose walk is upright fears the Lord, but he whose ways are devious despises him. A fool's talk brings a rod to his back, but the lips of the wise protect them. Where there are no oxen, the manger is empty. But from the strength of an ox comes an abundant harvest. A truthful witness does not deceive, but a false witness pours out lies. The mocker seeks wisdom and finds none. but knowledge comes easily to the discerning. Stay away from a foolish man, for you will not find knowledge on his lips. The wisdom of the prudent is to give thought to their ways, but the folly of fools is deception. Fools mock at making amends for sin, but goodwill is found among the upright. Each heart knows its own bitterness, and no one else can share its joy. The house of the wicked will be destroyed, but the tent of the upright will flourish. There is a way that seems right to a man, but in the end it leads to death. Even in laughter, the heart may ache, and joy may end in grief. The faithless will be fully repaid of their ways, and the good man rewarded for his. A simple man believes anything, but a prudent man gives thought to his steps. A wise man fears the Lord and shuns evil, but a fool is hot-headed and reckless. A quick-tempered man does foolish things, and a crafty man is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. Evil men will bow down in the presence of the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor are shunned even by their neighbors, but the rich have many friends. He who despises his neighbor's sins, but blessed is he who is kind to the needy. Do not those who plot evil go astray? But those who plan what is good find love and faithfulness. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talks leads only poverty. The wealth of the wise is their crown, but the folly of fools yields folly. A truthful witness saves lives, but a false witness is deceitful. He who fears the Lord has a secure fortress, and for his children it will be a refuge. The fear of the Lord is a fountain of life, turning a man from the snares of death. A large population is a king's glory, but without subjects a prince is ruined. A patient man has great understanding, but a quick-tempered man displays folly. A heart at peace gives life to the body, but envy rots the bones. He who oppresses the poor shows contempt for their maker, but whoever is kind to the needy honors God. When calamity comes, the wicked are brought down, but even in death the righteous have a refuge. Wisdom reposes in the hearts of discerning, and even among the fools she lets herself be known. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a disgrace to any people. A king delights in a wise servant, but a shameful servant incurs his wrath.
Proverbs chapter 15. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. The tongue of the wise uses knowledge rightly, but the mouth of fools pour forth foolishness. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, keeping watch on the evil and the good. A wholesome tongue is a tree of life, but perversiveness in it breaks the spirit. A fool despises his father's instructions, but he who receives correction is prudent. In the house of the righteous there's much treasure, but in the revenue of the wicked is trouble. The lips of the wise disperse knowledge, but the heart of the fool does not do so. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but the prayer of the upright is his delight. The way of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord, but he loves him who follows righteousness. Harsh discipline is for him who forsakes the way, and he who hates correction will die. Hell and destruction are before the Lord. So how much more the hearts of the sons of men? A scoffer does not love one who corrects him, nor will he go to the wise. A merry heart makes a cheerful countenance, but the sorrow of the heart, the spirit is broken. The heart of him who has understanding seeks knowledge, but the mouth of fool feeds on foolishness. All the days of the afflicted are evil, but he who is of a merry heart has a continual feast. Better is a little with the fear of the Lord than great treasure with trouble. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a fatted calf with hatred. A wrathful man stirs up strife, but he who is slow to anger has contention.
The way of the sluggard is blocked with thorns, but the path of the upright is a highway. A wise son brings joy to his father, but a foolish man despises his mother. Folly brings joy to one who has no sense, but whoever has understanding keeps a straight course. Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisers, they succeed. A person finds joy in giving an apt reply, and how good is a timely word. The path of life leads upward for the prudent, to keep them from going down to the realm of the dead. The Lord tears down the house of the proud, but he sets the widow's boundary stones in place. The Lord detests the thoughts of the wicked, but gracious words are pure in his sight. The greedy brings ruin to their households, but the one who hates bribes will live. The heart of the righteous weighs its answers, but the mouth of the wicked gushes evil. The Lord is far from the wicked, but he hears the prayer of the righteous. Light in a messenger's eyes brings joy to the heart, and good news gives health to the bones. Whoever heeds life-giving correction will be at home among the wise. Those who disregard discipline despise themselves, but the one who heeds correction gains understanding. Wisdom's instruction is to fear the Lord, and humility comes before honor.
Chapter 16 in French. Les projets que forme le cœur dépendent de l'homme, mais la réponse que donne la bouche vient de l'Éternel. Toutes les voies de l'homme sont pures à ses yeux, mais celui qui pèse les esprits, c'est l'Éternel. Recommande à l'Éternel tes œuvres et tes projets réussiront. L'Éternel a tout fait pour un but, mais même le méchant pour le jour du malheur. Tout cœur hautain est en abomination à l'Éternel. Certes, il ne restera pas impuni. Par la bonté et la fidélité, on expie l'iniquité. Et par la crainte de l'Éternel, on se détourne du mal. Quand l'Éternel approuve les voies d'un homme, il dispose favorablement à son égard même ses ennemis. Mieux vaut peu avec la justice que de grands revenus avec l'injustice. Le cœur de l'homme médite sa voie, mais c'est l'Éternel qui dirige ses pas. Des oracles sont sur les lèvres du roi. Sa bouche ne doit pas être infidèle quand il juge. Le poids et la balance juste sont à l'Éternel. Tous les poids du sac sont son ouvrage. Les rois ont horreur de faire le mal, car c'est par la justice que le trône s'affermit. Les lèvres justes gagnent la faveur des rois, et ils aiment celui qui parle avec droiture. La fureur du roi est un messager de mort, et un homme sage doit l'apaiser. La sérénité du visage du roi donne la vie, et sa faveur est comme une pluie du printemps. Combien acquérir la sagesse vaut mieux que l'or? Combien acquérir l'intelligence est préférable à l'argent? Le chemin des hommes droits, c'est d'éviter le mal. Celui qui garde son âme veille sur sa voie. L'arrogance précède la ruine et l'orgueil précède la chute. Mieux vaut être humble avec les humbles que de partager le butin avec les orgueilleux. Celui qui réfléchit sur les choses trouve le bonheur, et celui qui se confie en l'Éternel est heureux. Celui qui est sage de cœur est appelé intelligent, et la douceur des lèvres augmente le savoir. La sagesse est une source de vie pour celui qui la possède, et le châtiment des insensés, c'est leur folie. Celui qui est sage de cœur manifeste la sagesse par sa bouche, et l'accroissement de son savoir paraît sur ses lèvres. Les paroles agréables sont un rayon de miel, douce pour l'âme et salutaire pour le corps. Telle voie paraît droite à un homme, mais son issue, c'est la voie de la mort. Celui qui travaille, travaille pour lui, car sa bouche l'y excite. L'homme pervers prépare le malheur, et il y a sur ses lèvres comme un feu ardent. L'homme pervers excite des querelles, et le rapporteur divise des amis. L'homme violent séduit son prochain, et le fait marcher dans une voie qui n'est pas bonne. Celui qui ferme les yeux pour se livrer à des pensées perverses, Celui qui se mord les lèvres a déjà consommé le mal. Les cheveux blancs sont une couronne d'honneur. C'est dans le chemin de la justice qu'on la trouve. Celui qui est lent à la colère vaut mieux qu'un héros. Et celui qui est maître de lui-même que celui qui prend des villes. On jette le sort dans le pan de la robe, mais toute décision vient de l'Éternel.
Chapter 17. Better is a dry morsel with quietness than a house full of feasting with strife. A wise servant will rule over a son who causes shame and will share an inheritance among the brothers. The refining pot is for silver and the furnace of gold, but the Lord tests the heart. And evildoers give heed to false lips. A liar listens eagerly to a spiteful tongue. He who mocks the poor reproaches his maker. He who is glad at calamity will not go unpunished. Children are the crown of old men, and the glory of children is their father. Excellent speech is not becoming to a fool, but much less lying lips to a prince. A present is a precious stone in the eyes of its possessor. Wherever he turns, he prospers. He who covers a transgression seeks love, but he who repeats a matter separates friend. Rebuke is more effective for a wise man than 100 blows on a fall. An evil man seeks only rebellion. Therefore, a cruel messenger will be sent against him. Let a man meet a bear rob of her cubs rather than a fool in his folly. Whoever rewards evil for good, evil will not depart from his house. The beginning of strife is like releasing water. Therefore, stop contention before a quarrel starts. He who justifies the wicked and he condemns the just, both of them alike are an abomination to the Lord. Why is there in the hand of the fool the purchased price of wisdom, since he has no heart for it? A friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. A man devoid of understanding shakes hands in a pledge and becomes surety for his friend. He who loves transgressions loves strife, and he who exalts his gate seeks destruction. He who has deceitful heart finds no good, and he who has perverse tongue fall into evil. He who begets a scoffer does so to his sorrow, and the father of a fool has no joy. A merry heart does good like medicine, but a broken spirit dries the bones. A wicked man accepts a bribe behind the back to pervert the ways of justice. Wisdom is in the sight of him who has understanding, but the eyes of a fool are on the ends of the earth. A foolish son is a grief to his father, and bitterness to her who born him. Also to punish the righteous is not good, nor to strike princes for their uprightness. He who has knowledge spares his words, and the man of understanding is of a calm spirit. Even a fool is counted wise when he holds his peace. When he shuts his lips, he is considered perceptive.
chapter 18 in French. Celui qui se tient à l'écart cherche celui qui lui plaît. Il s'irrite contre tout ce qui est sage. Ce n'est pas à l'intelligence que l'insensé prend plaisir, c'est à la manifestation de ses pensées. Quand vient le méchant, vient aussi le mépris. Et avec la honte vient l'opprobre. Les paroles de la bouche d'un homme sont des eaux profondes. La source de la sagesse est un torrent qui jaillit. Il n'est pas bon d'avoir égard à la personne du méchant pour faire tort au juste dans le jugement. Les lèvres de l'insensé se mêlent aux querelles et sa bouche provoque les coups. La bouche de l'insensé cause sa ruine et ses lèvres sont un piège pour son âme. Les paroles du rapporteur sont comme des friandises. Elles descendent jusqu'au fond des entrailles. Celui qui se relâche dans son travail est frère de celui qui détruit. Le nom de l'Éternel est une tour forte. Le juste s'y réfugie et se trouve en sûreté. La fortune est pour le riche une ville forte. Dans son imagination, c'est une haute muraille. Avant la ruine, le cœur de l'homme s'élève, mais l'humilité précède la gloire. Celui qui répond avant d'avoir écouté fait un acte de folie et s'attire la confusion. L'esprit de l'homme le soutient dans la maladie, mais l'esprit abattu, qui le relèvera? Un homme intelligent acquiert la science, et l'oreille des sages cherche la science. Les présents d'un homme lui élargissent la voie et lui donnent accès auprès des grands. Le premier qui parle dans sa cause paraît juste. Vient sa partie adverse et on l'examine. Le sort fait cesser les contestations et décide contre les puissants. Des frères sont plus intraitables qu'une ville forte et leurs querelles sont comme les verrous d'un palais. C'est du fruit de sa bouche que l'homme rassasie son cœur. C'est du produit de ses lèvres qui se rassasie. La mort et la vie sont au pouvoir de la langue. Quiconque l'aime en mangera les fruits. Celui qui trouve une femme trouve le bonheur. C'est une grâce qu'il obtient de l'Éternel. Le pauvre parle en suppliant et le riche répond avec dureté. Celui qui a beaucoup d'amis les a pour son malheur, mais il est tel ami plus attaché qu'un frère.
Chapter 19 in Polish. Lepiej jest ubogi, który postępuje nienagannie, niż bogacz, który jest krętaczem i głupcem. Gdzie nie ma rozwagi, tam nawet gorliwość nie jest dobra. Kto spiesznie kroczy naprzód, może się potknąć. To głupota prowadzi człowieka na manowce, a potem jego serce wybucha gniewem na Pana. Bogactwo zjednywa wielu przyjaciół, lecz ubogiego przyjaciel opuszcza. Fałszywy świadek nie uniknie kary, a kto mówi kłamstwa, nie ujdzie cało. Wielu schlebia możnemu, a każdy jest przyjacielem męża szczodrego. Ubogiego nienawidzą wszyscy jego bracia. Tym bardziej trzymają się z dala jego przyjaciele. Kto nabywa rozumu, miłuje swoją duszę. Kto zachowuje roztropność, znajduje dobro. Fałszywy świadek nie uniknie kary, a kto mówi kłamliwie, ginie. Głupiemu nie przystoi życie w rozkoszach, tym jej niewolnikowi, aby panował nad księżętami. W cierpliwości zaznaczą się roztropność człowieka, a chlubą jego jest, gdy zapomina o krzywdach. Gniew króla jest jak pomruk lwa, lecz jego łaska jak rosa na trawie. Głupi syn jest nieszczęściem dla swojego ojca, a kłopotliwa kobieta jest jak stale cieknąca rynna. Dom i mienie dziedziczy się po rodzicach, lecz roztropna żona jest darem Pana. Lenistwo pogrąża w głębi sen, o człowieku gnuśny cierpi głód. Kto przestrzega przekazania, zachowuje swoje życie, lecz kto nie zważa na swoje drogi, umrze. Kto się lituje nad ubogim pożycza Panu, a ten mu odpłaci za jego dobrodziejstwo. Ćwicz swojego syna, póki jeszcze jest nadzieja, lecz nie unoś się przy tym, aby nie spowodować jego śmierci. Kto wybucha wielkim gniewem, płaci grzywnę, a jeśli go zachowa, musi ją powtórzyć. Słuchaj rady i przyjmuj karcenie, aby w przyszłości byś mądry. Wiele zmysłów jest w sercu człowieka, lecz dzieje się wola Pana. Zyskiem człowieka jest dobroć i lepszy jest ubogi niż kłamstwa. Bojaźń Pana prowadzi do życia i kto ją ma, odpoczywa syty i nie dozna nieszczęścia. Leniwy zanurza rękę w misie, lecz do ust jej nie podnosi. Uderzę w szydercę, a prostak zmądrzeje. Karć rozumnego, a nabędzie wiedzy. Kto z ojcem źle się obchodzi i wypędza matkę, ten jest bezwstydnym i zepsutym synem. Synu mój, gdy zaprzestaniesz słuchać napomnień, oddalisz się od słów mądrości. Bezecny świadek szydzi sprawa, a ust bezbożnych ociekają bezprawiem. Na naśmiewcu przygotowane są baty, a chłosty na grzbiet głupców.
Proverbs 20. Wine is a mocker and beer brawler. Whoever is led astray by them is not wise. A king's wrath strikes terror like the roar of a lion. Those who anger him forfeit their lives. It is one's honor to avoid strife, but every fool is quick to quarrel. Sluggards do not slow to season, so as harvest time they look but find nothing. The purpose of a person's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight draws them out. Many claim to have unfailing love, but a faithful person who can find? The righteous lead blameless lives. Blessed are their children after them. When a king sits on his throne to judge, he winnows out all evil with his eyes. Who can say, I have kept my heart pure? I am clean and without sin. Differing weights and differing measures, the Lord detests them both. Even small children are known by their actions. So is their conduct really pure and upright. Ears that hear and eyes that see, the Lord has made them both. Do not love sleep or you will grow poor. Stay awake and you will have food to spare. It's not good, it's no good, says the buyer. Then goes off and boasts about the purchase. Gold there is and rubies in abundance, but lips that speak knowledge are a rare jewel. Take the garment of one who puts up security for a stranger, hold it in pledge if it is done for an outsider. Food gained by fraud tastes sweet, but one ends up with mouth full of gravel. Plans are established by seeking advice. So if you wage war, obtain guidance. A gossip betrays a confidence. So avoid anyone who talks too much. If someone curses their father or their mother, their lamp will be snuffed out in pitch darkness. An inheritance claimed too soon will not be blessed at the end. Do not say, I will pay you back for this wrong. Wait for the Lord and he will avenge you. The Lord detests differing weights, and dishonest scales do not please him. A person's steps are directed by the Lord. How then can anyone understand their own way? It is a trap to dedicate something rashly and only later to consider one's vows. A wise king winnows out the wicked. He drives the threshing wheel over them. The human spirit is the lamp of the Lord that sheds light on one's innermost being. Love and faithfulness keep a king safe. Through love, his throne is made secure. The glory of young men is their strength. Gray hair, the splendor of the old. Blows and wounds scrub away evil, and beatings purge the innermost being. Amen.
Chapter 21 in French. Le cœur du roi est un courant d'eau dans la main de l'Éternel. Il l'incline partout où il veut. Tous les voies de l'homme sont droits à ses yeux, mais celui qui pèse le cœur, c'est l'Éternel. La pratique de la justice et de l'équité, voilà ce que l'Éternel préfère au sacrifice. Des regards hautains et un cœur qui s'enfle, cette lampe des méchants, ce n'est que péché. Les projets de l'homme diligent ne mènent qu'à l'abondance, mais celui qui agit avec précipitation n'arrive qu'à la disette. Des trésors acquis par une langue mensongère sont une vanité fugitive et l'avant-courant de la mort. La violence des méchants les emporte parce qu'ils refusent de faire ce qui est juste. Le coupable suit des voies détournées, mais l'innocent agit avec droiture. Mieux vaut habiter à l'angle d'un toit que de partager la demeure d'une femme querelle. L'âme du méchant désire le mal. Son ami ne trouve pas grâce à ses yeux. Quand on châtie le moqueur, le sot devient sage. Et quand on instruit le sage, il accueille la science. Le juste considère la maison du méchant. L'Éternel précipite les méchants dans le malheur. Celui qui ferme son oreille aux cris du pauvre criera lui-même et n'aura point de réponse. Un don fait en secret apaise la colère, et un présent fait en cachette calme une fureur violente. C'est une joie pour le juste de pratiquer la justice, mais la ruine est pour ceux qui font le mal. L'homme qui s'écarte du chemin de la sagesse reposera dans l'assemblée des morts. Celui qui aime la joie reste dans l'indigence. Celui qui aime le vin et l'huile ne s'enrichit pas. Le méchant sert de rançon pour le juste et le perfide pour les hommes droits. Mieux vaut habiter dans une terre déserte qu'avec une femme querelle et irritable. Des précieux trésors et de l'huile sont dans la demeure du sage, mais l'homme insensé les engloutit. Celui qui poursuit la justice et la bonté trouve la vie, la justice et la gloire. Le sage monte dans la ville des héros et il abat la force qui lui donnait de l'assurance. Celui qui veille sur sa bouche et sur la langue préserve son âme des angoisses. L'orgueilleux et le hautain s'appellent un moqueur. Il agit avec la fureur de l'arrogance. Les désirs du paresseux le tuent parce que ses mains refusent de travailler. Tout le jour, il éprouve des désirs, mais le juste donne sans parcimonie. Le sacrifice des méchants est quelque chose d'abominable. Combien plus quand il l'offre avec des pensées criminelles. Le témoin menteur périra, mais l'homme qui écoute parlera toujours. Le méchant prend un air effronté, mais l'homme droit affermit sa voix. Il n'y a ni sagesse, ni intelligence, ni conseil en face de l'Éternel. Le cheval est équité pour le jour de la bataille, mais la délivrance appartient à l'Éternel.
A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. Rich and poor have this in common. The Lord is the maker of them all. The prudent set danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Humility is the feet of the Lord. Its wages are riches and honor and life. In the paths of the wicked are snares and pitfalls, but those who would preserve their life stay far from them. Start children off on the way they should go, and even when they are old, they will not turn from it. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is slave to the lender. Whoever sows injustice reaps calamity, and the road they wield in fury will be broken. The generous will themselves be blessed, for they share their food with the poor. Drive out the mocker, and out goes strife. Quarrels and insults are ended. One who loves a pure heart and who speaks with grace will have the king for a friend. The eyes of the Lord keep watch over the knowledge, but he frustrates the words of the unfaithful. This sluggard says there is a lion outside. I'll be killed in the public square. The mouth of an adulterous woman is a deep pit. A man who is under the Lord's wrath rolls into it. Folly is bound up in the heart of a child, but the end of the discipline will drive it far away. One who oppresses the poor to increase his wealth, and one who gives gifts to the rich, both come to poverty. 30 sayings of the wise. Saying 1, pay attention and turn your ear to the sayings of the wise. Apply your heart to what I teach, for it is pleasing when you keep them in your heart and have all of them read on your lips, so that your trust may be in the Lord. I teach you today, even you. Have I not written 30 sayings for you, sayings of counsel and knowledge, teaching you to be honest and to speak the truth, so that you bring back truthful reports to those who you serve. Do not exploit the poor because they care. Do not exploit the poor because they are poor. And do not crush the needy in court. For the Lord will take up their case and will exact life for life. Saying number 3, do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn their ways and get yourself ensnared. Saying number 4, do not be one who shakes hands in pledge or puts up security for debts. If you lack the means to pay, your very bed will be snatched from under you. If you lack the means to pay, your very bed will be snatched from under you. Saying number 5, do not move an ancient boundary stone set up by your ancestors. Do not move an ancient boundary stone set by your ancestors. Saying number 6, do you see someone skilled in their work? They will serve before kings. They will not serve before officials of the low rank.
Chapter 23. When you sit down to dine with a ruler, consider carefully what is set before you, for you will put a knife to your throat. If you are a man of great appetite, do not desire his delicacies, for it is deceptive food offered to you with questionable motives. Do not weary yourself with the overwhelming desire to gain wealth. Cease from your own understanding of it. When you set your eyes on wealth, it is suddenly gone, for wealth certainly makes itself wings. Like an eagle that flies to the heavens. Do not eat the bread of a selfish man or desire his delicacies. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he in behavior, one who manipulates. It says to you, eat and drink. Yet his heart is not with you, but it is begrudging the cost. The morsel which you have eaten, you will vomit up, and you will waste your compliments. Do not speak in the ears of a fool, for he will despise the godly wisdom of your words. Do not move the ancient landmark at the boundary of the property, and do not go into the fields of the fatherless to take what is theirs. For their Redeemer is strong and mighty. He will plead their case against you. Apply your hearts to discipline and your ears to words of knowledge. Do not withhold discipline from the child. If you thwart him with a reed-like rod applied with godly wisdom, he will not die. You shall thwart him with a reed-like rod and rescue his life from Sheol, the netherworld, the place of the dead. My son, if your heart is wise, my heart will also be glad. Yes, my heart will rejoice when your lips speak right things. Do not let your heart envy sinners who live godless lives and have no hope of salvation, but continue to live in the reverent, worshipful fear of the Lord day by day. Surely there is a future and a reward, and your hope and expectation will not be cut off. Listen, my son, and be wise, and direct your heart in the way of the Lord. Do not associate with heavy drinkers of wine, or with gluttonous eaters of meat. For the heavy drinker and the glutton will come to poverty, and the drowsiness of overindulgence will clothe one with rags. Listen to your father who sired you, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Buy truth and do not sell it. Get wisdom and instruction and understanding. The father of the righteous will greatly rejoice, and he who sires a wise child will have joy in him. Let your father and your mother be glad, and let her who gave birth to you rejoice in your wise and godly choices. My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes delight in my ways. For a prostitute is a deep pit, and an immoral woman is a narrow well. She lurks and waits and lies in wait like a robber who waits for prey, and she increases the faithless among men. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has strife? Who has complaining? Who has wounds without cause? Whose eyes are red and dim? Those who linger long over wine, those who go to taste mixed wine. Do not look at wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the glass, when it goes down smoothly. At the last, it bites like a serpent and stings like a viper. Your drunken eyes will see strange things, and your mind will utter perverse things, untrue things, twisted things. And you will be as unstable and as unsteady as one who lies down in the middle of the sea, and as vulnerable to disaster as one who lies down on the top of a ship's mast, saying, "They struck me, but I was not hurt. They beat me, but I did not feel it. When will I wake up? I will seek more wine."
Chapter 24. Don't envy evil people or desire their company, for their hearts plot violence and their words always stir up trouble. A house is built by wisdom and becomes strong through good sense. Through knowledge, its rooms are filled with all sorts of precious riches and valuables. The wise are mightier than the strong, and those with knowledge grow stronger and stronger. So don't go to war without wise guidance. Victory depends on having many advisors. Wisdom is too lofty for fools. Among leaders at the city gate, they have nothing to say. A person who plans evil will get a reputation as a troublemaker. The schemes of a fool are sinful. Everyone detests a mocker. If you fail under pressure, your strength is too small. Rescue those who are unjustly sentenced to die. Save them as they stagger to their death. Don't excuse yourself by saying, "Look, we didn't know." For God understands all hearts and he sees you. He who guards your soul knows you. He will repay all people as their actions deserve. My child, eat honey, for it is good, and the honeycomb is sweet to the taste. In the same way, wisdom is sweet to your soul. If you find it, you will have a bright future, and your hopes will not be cut short. Don't wait in ambush at the home of the godly, and don't raid the home where the godly live. The godly may trip 7 times, but they will get up again. But one disaster is enough to overthrow the wicked. Don't rejoice when your enemies fall. Don't be happy when they stumble. For the Lord will be displeased with you and return his anger away from them. Don't fret because of evildoers. Don't envy the wicked, for evil people have no future. The light of the wicked will be snuffed out. My child, fear the Lord and the king. Don't associate with rebels, for disaster will hit them suddenly. Who knows what punishment will come from the Lord and the king? Here are some further sayings of the wise. It is wrong to show favoritism when passing judgment. A judge who says to the wicked, "You are innocent," will be cursed by many people and denounced by nations. But it will go well for those who convict the guilty. Rich blessings will be showered on them. An honest answer is like a kiss of friendship. Do your planning and prepare your fields before building your house. Don't testify against your neighbors without cause. Don't lie about them. Don't say, "Now I can pay them back for what they've done to me. I'll get even with them." I walked by the field of a lazy man, the vineyard of one with no common sense. I saw that it was overgrown with nettles. It was covered with weeds, and its walls were broken down. Then, as I looked and thought about it, I learned this lesson. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest, then poverty will pounce on you like a bandit, and scarcity will attack you like an armed robber.
More Proverbs of Solomon. These are more Proverbs of Solomon compiled by the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter. To search out a matter is the glory of kings. As the heavens are high and the earth is deep, so the hearts of the kings are unsearchable. Remove the dross from the silver, and a silversmith can produce a vessel. Remove wicked officials from the king's presence, and his throne will be established through righteousness. Do not exalt yourself in the king's presence, and do not claim a place among his great men. It is better for him to say to you, "Come up here," than for him to humiliate you before his nobles. What you have seen with your eyes, do not bring hastily to court. For what will you do in the end if your neighbor puts you to shame? If you take your neighbor to court, do not betray another's confidence, or the one who hears it may shame you, and a charge against you will stand. Like apples of gold in settings of silver is a ruling rightly given. Like an earring of gold or an ornament of fine gold is a rebuke of a wise judge to a listening ear. Like a snow-cooled drink at harvest time is a trustworthy messenger to the one who sends him. He refreshes the spirit of his master, like clouds and wind without rain, is one who boasts of gifts never given. Through patience, a ruler can be persuaded, and a gentle tongue can break a bone. If you find honey, eat just enough. Too much of it, and you will vomit. Seldom set foot in your neighbor's house. Too much of you, and they will hate you. Like a club, or a sword, or a sharp arrow, is one who gives false testimony against the neighbor. Like a broken tooth or a lame foot is reliance on the unfaithful in a time of trouble. Like one who takes away a garment on a cold day, or like vinegar poured on a wound, is one who sings songs to a heavy heart. If your enemy is hungry, give him food to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you. Like a north wind that brings unexpected rain is a sly tongue, which provokes a horrified look. Better to live on a corner of the roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife. Like cold water to a weary soul is good news from a distant land. Like a muddied spring or a polluted well are the righteous who give way to the wicked. It is not good to eat too much honey, nor is it honorable to search out matters that are too deep.
Chapter 26. Like snow in summer or rain in harvest, so honor is not fitting for a fool. Like a sparrow in its fitting, like a swallow in its flying, a curse that is causeless does not alight. A whip for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the back of fools. Answer not a fool according to his folly, lest you be like him yourself. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. Whoever sends a message by the hand of a fool cuts off his own feet and drinks violence. Like a lame man's legs, which hang useless, is a proverb in the mouth of fools. Like one who binds the stone in the sling is one who gives honor to a fool. Like a thorn that goes up into the hand of a drunkard is a proverb in the mouth of fools. Like an archer who wounds everyone is one who hires a passing fool and drunkard. Like a dog that returns to its vomit is a fool who repeats his folly. Do you see a man who is wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for him. The sluggard says, there is a lion in the road, there's a lion in the streets. As a door turns on its hinges, so does a sluggard on his bed. The sluggard buries his hand in the dish. It wears him out to bring it back into his mouth. The sluggard is wiser in his own eyes than 7 men who can answer sensibly. Whoever meddles in a quarrel not his own is like one who takes a passing dog by the ears. Like a madman who throws firebrands, arrows, and death is a man who deceives his neighbor and says, I am only joking. For lack of wood, the fire goes out, and where there is no whisperer, quarreling ceases. As charcoal to hot embers and wood to fire, so is a quarrelsome man for kindling strife. The words of a whisperer are like delicious morsels. They go down into the inner parts of the body. Like the glaze covering an earthen vessel, are fervent lips with an evil heart. Whoever hates disguises himself with his lips and harbors deceit in his heart. When he speaks graciously, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Though his hatred be covered with deception, his wickedness will be exposed in the assembly. Whoever digs a pit will fall into it, and a stone will come back on him who starts it rolling. A lying tongue hates its victims, and a flattering mouth works ruin.
Verse 27. Do not boast tomorrow, for you do not know what a day may bring. Let someone else praise you, and not mouth and outside lips. Stone and sand a burden, but a fool's provocation is both. It's cruel and fury overwhelming, but who can stand before jealousy? Better is open rebuke than hidden love. One friend can be trusted, enemy multiplies kisses. One who is full loathes honey from the comb, but to the hungry, even what is bitter tastes sweet. Like a bird that flees its nest is enemies from home. Perfume and incense bring joy to the heart, and the pleasantness of a friend springs from their heartfelt advice. Do not forsake your friend or a friend of your family, and do not go to your relative's house when disaster strikes you. Better a neighbor nearby than a relative far away. Be wise, my son, and bring joy to my heart. Then I can answer anyone who treats me with contempt. The prudent see danger and take refuge, but the simple keep going and pay the penalty. Take the garment of one who puts up security for a stranger. Hold it in pledge if it is done for an outsider. If anyone loudly blesses their neighbor early in the morning, it will be taken as a curse. A quarrelsome wife is like the dripping of a leaky roof in a rainstorm. Restraining her is like restraining the wind or grasping oil with the hand. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. The one who guards a fig tree will eat its fruits, and whoever protects their master will be honored. As water reflects the face, so one's life reflects the heart. Death and destruction are never satisfied, and neither are human eyes. The crucible for silver and the furnace for gold, but people are tested by their praise. Though you grind a fool in a mortar, grinding them like grain with a pestle, you will not remove their folly from them. Be sure you know the condition of your flocks. Give careful attention to your herds. For riches do not endure forever, and a crown is not secure for all generations. When the hay is removed and new growth appears, and the grass from the hills are gathered in, the lambs will provide you with clothing, and the goats with the price for a field. You will have plenty of goat's milk to feed your family and to nourish your female servants.
28. The wicked flee when no one pursues, but the righteous are bold as a lion. But by a man of understanding and knowledge, right will be prolonged. A poor man who oppresses the poor is like driving rain which leaves no food. Those who forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law content with them. Even men do not understand justice, but those who seek the Lord understand all. Better is the poor who walks in his integrity than one perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Whoever keeps the law is a discerning son, but a companion of gluttons shames his father. One who increases his possessions by usury and extortion gathers it for him. Who will pity the poor? One who turns away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer is an abomination. Whoever causes the upright to go astray in an evil way. He himself will fall into his own pit, but the blameless will inherit good. The rich man is wise in his own eyes, but the poor who has understanding searches him out. When the righteous rejoice, there is a great glory, but when the wicked arise, men hide themselves. He who covers his sins will not prosper, but whoever confesses and forsakes them will have mercy. Happy is the man who is always reverent, but he who has hardened his heart will fall into calamity. Like a roaring lion and a charging bear is a wicked ruler over poor people. A ruler who lacks understanding is a great oppressor, but he who hates covetousness will prolong his days. A man burdened with bloodshed will flee into a pit. Let no one help him. Whoever walks blamelessly will be saved, but he who is perverse in his ways will suddenly fall. He who tills his land will have plenty of bread, but he who follows frivolity will have poverty enough. A faithful man will abound with blessings, but he who hastens to be rich will not go unpunished. To show partiality is not good, because for a piece of bread a man will transgress. A man with an evil eye hastens after riches, and does not consider that poverty will come upon him. He who rebukes a man will find more favour afterward than he who flatters with the tongue. Whoever robs his father or his mother and says it is no transgression, the same is companion to a destroyer. He who is of profound heart stirs up strife, but he who trusts in the Lord will be prospered. He who trusts in his own heart is a fool, but whoever walks wisely will be delivered. He who gives to the poor will not lack, but he who hides his eyes will have many curses. When the wicked arise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase.
Chapter 29. Whoever stubbornly refuses to accept criticism will suddenly be destroyed beyond recovery. When the godly are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked are in power, they groan. The man who loves wisdom brings joy to his father, but if he hangs around with prostitutes, his wealth is wasted. A just king gives stability to his nation. To flatter friends is to lay a trap for their feet. Evil people are trapped by sin, but the righteous escape, shouting for joy. The godly care about the rights of the poor. The wicked don't care at all. Mockers can get a whole town agitated, but the wise will calm anger. If a wise person takes a fool to court, there will be ranting and ridicule, but no satisfaction. The bloodthirsty hate blameless people, but the upright seek to help them. Fools vent their anger, but the wise quietly hold it back. If a ruler pays attention to liars, all his advisers will be wicked. The poor and the oppressors have this in common. The Lord gives sight to the eyes of the both. If a king judges the poor fairly, his throne will last forever. To discipline a child produces wisdom, but a mother is disgraced by an undisciplined child. When the wicked are in authority, sin flourishes, but the godly will live to see their downfall. Discipline your children, and they will give you peace of mind, and will make your heart glad. When people do not accept divine guidance, they run wild, but whoever obeys the law is joyful. Words alone will not discipline a servant. The words may be understood, but they are not heeded. There is no more hope for a fool than for someone who speaks without thinking. A servant pampered from childhood will become a rebel. An angry person starts fights. A hot-tempered person commits all kinds of sins. Pride ends in humiliation, when humility brings honor. If you assess the thief, you only hurt yourself. You are sworn to tell the truth. but you dare not testify. Fearing people is a dangerous trap, but trusting the Lord means safety. Many seek the ruler's favor, but justice comes from the Lord. The righteous despise the unjust, the wicked despise the godly.
Chapter 30, the sayings of Agur. The sayings of Agur, son of Jacoth, an oracle. This man declared to Ithiel and to Ukal, I am the most ignorant of men. I do not have a man's understanding. I have not learned wisdom, nor have I knowledge of the Holy One. Who has gone up to heaven and come down? Who has gathered up the wind in the hollow of his hands? Who has wrapped up the waters in his cloak? Who has established all the ends of the earth? What is his name and the name of his son? Tell me if you know. Every word of God is flawless. He is a shield to those who take refuge in him. Do not add to his words, or he will rebuke you and prove you a liar. 2 things I ask of you, O Lord. Do not refuse me before I die. Keep falsehood and lies far from me. Give me neither poverty nor riches, but give me only my daily bread. Otherwise I may have too much and disown you, and say, who is the Lord? Or I may become poor and steal, and so dishonor the name of my God. Do not slander a servant to his master, or he will curse you, and you will pay for it. There are those who curse their fathers and do not bless their mothers, those who are pure in their own eyes, and yet are not cleansed of their filth. Those whose eyes are ever so haughty, whose glances are so disdainful. Those whose teeth are swords and whose jaws are set with knives, to devour the poor from the earth, the needy from among mankind. The leech has 2 daughters. Give, give, they cry. There are 3 things that are never satisfied, 4 that never say enough. The grave, the barren womb, land which is never satisfied with water, and fire which never says enough. The eye that mocks a father, that scorns obedience to a mother, will be pecked out by the ravens of the valley, will be eaten by the vultures. There are 3 things that are too amazing for me, 4 that I do not understand. The way of an eagle in the sky, the way of a snake on a rock, the way of a ship on the high seas, and the way of a man with a maiden. This is the way of an adulteress. She eats and wipes her mouth and says, I've done nothing wrong. Under 3 things the earth trembles. Under 4 it cannot bear up. A servant who becomes king, a fool who is full of food, an unloved woman who is married, and a maidservant who displaces her mistress. 4 things on earth are small, yet they are extremely wise. Ants are creatures of little strength, yet they store up their food in the summer. Conies are creatures of little power, yet they make their home in the crags. Locusts have no king, yet they advance together in ranks. A lizard can be caught with the hand, yet it is found in kings' palaces. There are 3 things that are stately in their stride, 4 that move with stately bearing. a lion mighty among beasts who retreats before nothing, a strutting cock, a he-goat, and a king with his army around him. If you have played the fool and exalted yourself, or if you have planned evil, clap your hand over your mouth. For as churning the milk produces butter, and as twisting the nose produces blood, so stirring up anger produces strife.
ቃላት ንጉስ ሉሚኤል ኣዲኡ ዝመሃረቶ ንግራት ኣይ ኣታ ወደ እንታይ ኣታ ውሉድ ከርሰይ እንታይ እሞ ኣታ ወዲ መብፅዓይ ሓይልኻ ነንስቲ መገድኻ ከዓ ነተን መጥፋእቲ ነገስታት ኣይትሃብ ሉሚኤል ሰትዮም ሕጊ ኸይርስዑ እሞ ፍርዲ ኩሎም ጉፉዓት ከይልውጡስ እዚ ንዓይኒ ነገስታትን እዩ ነገስታት ወይኒ ክሰትዩ መሳፍንቲ ዘስክር መስተ ኣበይ ኣሎ ክብሉ ኣይግባእን ብርቱዕ መስተስ ነቲ ናብ ጥፍኣት ዝቐረበ ወይኒ ከዓ ነቶም ነፍሶም እተመረረ ሰባት ደኣሃቡ ይስተ እሞ ድኽነቱ ይረስዕ መከራኡ ከዓ ኣይዘክር ኣብ ክንዲ ዓባስ ኣብ ክንዲ እቶም ፀግዒ ዘይብሎም ኣፍካ ክፈት ብቕንዕና ፍረድ ንሽጉርን ንመስኪንን ብይና ውፅኣሎም ደገኛ ሰበይትስ መን ይረኽባ ዋጋኣ ካብ ክቡር ዕንቂ ኣዝዩ ይኸብር ልቢ ሰብኣያ ይእመና እተቱ ኸቶ ኣይቋርፅን ንሳ ሙሉእ ዕድሚኣ ሰናይ እምበር ክፉ ኣይትገብሮን ፀጉርን ልሕፅን ጣጢዕን ትደሊ ተሓጒሳ ከዓ ብኢዳ ተዓይ ንሳ ከም መርከብ ነጋዶ እያ ካብ ርሑቕ ምግባ ተምፅእ ገና ለይትኸሎ ትትንስእ እሞ ንስድራ ቤታ ምግቦም ትህቦም ነግራዳ ከዓ ሰስርሐን ተትሕዘን ግራት ትምልከት እሞ ትዕድጎ ብፍረ ኣእዳዋ ከዓ ኣታኽልቲ ወይኒ ትተክል ሕቆኣ ብሓይሊ ይዕጠቕ ቀላፅማ ከዓ ተበርትዕ ኣቃሑ ንግዳ ጽቡቕ ስለ ዝኾነ ትርኢ መብራህታ ብለይቲ ኣይጠፍእን ኣእዳዋ መፍተል የልዕላ ኣጻብዓውን ቁኒን ይሕዛ ንሽጉራት ኢዳ ትዝርግሓሎም ንጽጉማት ከዓ ኣእዳዋ ትሰደሎም ኩሎም ስድራኣ ሰብ ድርብ ክዳን እዮም እሞ ስለ ስድራኣ ብወርጪ ኣይትፈርህን ንርእሳ ምንጻፋት ትገብር ክዳውንታውን በፍታን ጅኹን እዩ ሰብኣያ ኣብ ደገ ኣብ ማእከል ዓበይቲ ዓዲ ምስ ዝቕመጥ ምርኡይ እዩ ጽቡቕ ቀምሽ ኣእሊማ ትሸይጥ መቐነት ነጋዳይ ትህቦ ሓይልን ክብረትን ልብሳ እዩ ነቲ ዝመጽእ መዓልቲ ትስሕቆ ኣፋ ብጥበብ ትኸፍት ትምህርቲ ለውሃት ድማ ኣብ ልሳና እዩ ንብረት ቤታ ትሕሉ እንጌራ ትህኪት ኣይትበልዕን ደቃይ ትንስኡ ብርኽቲ ከዓ ይብልዋ ሰብኣያ ድማ ብዙሓት ኣንስቲ ጽቡቕ ዝገበራ ኣለዋ ንስኺ ግና ንኹላተን ትበልጽየን ኢሉ ይንእዳ ጽባቐ መልክዕ ጠባሪ እዩ ውቃበ ከዓ ከንቲ እዩ ንእግዚኣብሔር ትፈርህ ሰበይቲ ግና ትነኣድ ካብ ፍረ ኣእዳዋ ሃብዋ ኣብ ደጌታት እውን ተግባራ ይንኣዳ